We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Green Lantern issue 3. This is from the 2023 series from DC Comics under their Dawn of DC banner. This issue is written by Jeremy Adams, art and cover by Xermanico, colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr., letters by Dave Sharpe. Assistant editor was Jillian Grant, edited by Paul Kaminsky. We learn a little bit more about Hal testing his ring out and how it seems to only work when he's on Earth, probably because Earth is quarantined, as we learned last issue, but he's able to create constructs and even change colors, and he plays with a kitty cat on the savannah for some reason. And then Sinestro goes and talks to some aliens that he blackmails into giving him a crew, who then go out to Ferris airfields and does something, and a couple people died. Meanwhile, Green Lantern's playing baseball with some little leaguers when he gets the news, and we get like a 4-page thing where he's talking to Linda about it, and then nothing really gets resolved, and we get a cliffhanger ending that is just two people standing around talking. The backup story is Rise of the Revenant Queen Part 3, written by Phillip Kennedy Johnson, art by Montos, colors by Adriano Lucas, letters by Dave Sharpe, assistant editor Jillian Grant, and edited by Paul Kaminsky. John Stewart shows up on this alien multiverse. It's not the John Stewart of Earth, it's a different John Stewart in the multiverse, and he's wearing an outfit that makes him look like Kang and the Vision had a weird looking green baby together, and he fights off the Revenant Queen, and she disappears into the multiverse because he's kicking her butt. And of course he's going after John Stewart of Earth Zero. Now it turns out she does have a ring, and it appears to be a Star Sapphire ring, so I guess we're getting some multiverse action there. That leads into Green Lantern War Journal issue 1, which went on sale at the same time as this issue. But the backup story was actually pretty interesting. It got a lot better, but I just really don't care about any of it at all. Seems like it might be okay, but I don't really want to spend the money or take the chance on yet another book that's going to disappoint me from DC, because they have a lot of them these days. The main story with Hal Jordan was insanely boring. Very little happens. The action you do get is Hal playing baseball with some kids, and Sinestro committing some sort of robbery maybe, where some humans got killed, some security guys, and that was it. This was almost entirely frivolous banter that could have been cut out. A lot of these scenes were cinematic, but didn't accomplish anything and barely furthered the plot. You could have summed up most of this book entirely. The entire sequence with Hal playing baseball with the kids, that's 3 pages you could have cut out entirely. The scene where he's talking to Linda could have been cut down to 1 to 2 pages instead of 4. The end sequence where Hal runs into Sinestro could have been cut down to 2 or 3 panels. And Hal testing his ring out could have been condensed down as well. This whole thing was just dragged out and kind of boring. I've seen Lifetime movies with not only more action, but more in-depth story and character development. This was sad and kind of pathetic. I'm giving it one more issue because I've already paid for issue 4. After that, I'm probably going to drop this title, because the Night Terrors Green Lantern throwaway issues were better written and way more exciting. This is boring and forgettable. Nothing happens. We saw this with the first 2 issues, where we're left with this really interesting cliffhanger ending about a guy in Manhunter armor, and the next issue they just wrap it up and throw it away in the first couple pages. There wasn't even really any adventure there. It was just something to try and keep you interested in the boring romance story of Linda and Hal that is going to take forever to get anywhere. And although the cover is action-packed and really cool looking, that scene not only doesn't happen, it's the most dynamic thing about this book. It's probably the best art too. The interior art's okay. I didn't really have a problem with any of it. The art in the backup story is probably a little bit more detailed, but I just can't bring myself to care about this when nothing seems to be happening. It's all trivial minor plot points being dragged out for way too long. It's gonna take 5-6 issues to even get one story done that 20-30 years ago would have taken 2 issues at most. So this is a gigantic disappointment, and I really like Hal Jordan, so this is really obnoxious to have to say, but I'm gonna drop this title if it doesn't start improving. I'll just go back and spend $4 on some old back issues reviews and grab those out of the bargain bin, because I could get those for between $2 and $4 each, and they're way more entertaining and they're probably going to hold up better. They're not going to be this drawn out, boring nonsense of interpersonal relationships that I don't care about. Go back to being a failed screenwriter of romance films, because this is not your forte. This is boring and it's going nowhere. So I'm not spending $5 a month on crap that goes nowhere. So this is clearly not a recommendation. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.